Yesterday's video talked about making sure you choose evidence that is relevant, sufficient, and credible. Today, once you find that evidence, it's going to need to be inserted into your essay. So, once you have your evidence, how do you put the evidence into your writing? Basically, there are two ways to do it. You can quote directly or you can paraphrase. You've done both of these this year, but this is just a quick review for you to remember these two strategies. If some of the exact words from the text will make your evidence stronger, then quote those directly, but be sure to put quotation marks around the part that is word for word from the text. If you don't, it's plagiarism. Also, only quote the section that is going to help your argument. This is better than including long passages from the text. By the way, we call it a quote because you are quoting someone else's exact words, even if they are written. You might think of a quote as something a person says out loud and therefore gets put in quotation marks, but it works the same way if you are quoting someone else's written words, like from an article they wrote. Suppose you want to convince parents to cut down on the snacks they give their kids. You read a blog post by dietitian Sarah Renner and find this paragraph. So this is an example of the paragraph from the article. I often hear parents say that their kids are grazers rather than meal eaters. In other words, their kids like to snack for most of the day and often don't eat much at mealtimes. This can be very frustrating for parents. Snacks tend to be less nutritious than meal foods, and they also tend to be eaten on the go instead of at the table in a non-distracted environment. When snacks are available all the time, kids won't have the chance to work up an appetite for meals, which tend to be more nutritionally balanced. Kids should be given 2 to 3 hours between eating opportunities so that they can establish an appetite and distinguish what it feels like to be either hungry or comfortably full. You'd like to use some of this paragraph to support the idea that frequent snacking can be bad for kids, but quoting the whole paragraph would be letting Sarah write your essay for you. Instead, write your own ideas, supported with one direct quote from the expert. And I would say this is a key to quoting. Do not pull whole chunks and put it in quotation marks. Then that is somebody else writing, it's not you. You need to pull just something very specific and short that fits in with your own paragraph. Here's an example of how it might be written in somebody else's essay. Another reason snacks should be limited for kids is because it makes their overall daily intake less nutritious. And this topic sentence is a lot like the topic sentences I saw yesterday that many of you created. Snacks fill them up so they don't eat as much of their healthy meals. Registered dietitian Sarah Renner explains it this way. When snacks are available all of the time, kids won't have the chance to work up an appetite for meals, which tend to be more nutritionally balanced. So it stands to reason that cutting back on snacks will make it more likely that kids will eat more at regular meal times, and this will improve their overall nutrition. So this bold part is the only part from that whole paragraph that was pulled to fit in with the writer's words. Okay? You never leave a quote just hanging at the end of a paragraph. It's usually in the middle, it's usually sandwiched between your words. So I start with my words, add the quote, end with more of my words. The second way that you can add evidence is to paraphrase. Now, I don't know if you remember, but we did this a while back where you read something, you looked away, you talked it out, and then you wrote it down. When you paraphrase someone else's ideas, you are summarizing what they said rather than quoting their exact words. Suppose you wanted to paraphrase Sarah Renner's point rather than quoting her directly. Using the same paragraph as above, here's how you would paraphrase her. Another reason snacks should be limited for kids is because it makes their overall daily intake less nutritious. Snacks fill them up so they don't eat as much of their healthy meals. Here's the paraphrase. Registered dietitian Sarah Renner points out that snacks are often less healthy and balanced than regular meals, and if kids constantly snack, they never really get hungry for the meals. So it stands to reason that cutting back on snacks will make it more likely that kids would eat more at regular meal times, and this will improve their overall nutrition. So now it's time to weave in your direct quotes or your paraphrased information. I think I'll save this for when we actually write the paper. For now, as you add evidence to your argument essay planner, as you add the supporting evidence here, you've got your topic sentences. Supporting evidence is going to be your facts, examples, expert opinions, statistics, stories, quotes. Make sure that if it's stated directly, you use quotation marks. For example, I kind of made this up, but here's a direct quote. In the article, Mr. Greg Gogol, the principal, stated, I see positive attitudes in our students. The character traits of pride show in their daily habits and in their work ethic. So that would be like word for word from the article. And if not, you can also do some paraphrasing. The discipline data report that shows that 25% fewer office referrals for that school year were compared to the previous year. That's kind of a bad example to show for paraphrasing because it's got a statistic in it. But paraphrasing would be where you would read the paragraph, look away from it, and write what you remember. And my husband's phone is ringing in the background, but I'm going to keep going here. So today, as you read your articles, again, don't pick out huge chunks that you're going to do a direct quote. Pick out the little pieces of evidence that's going to help your overall argument. I'll be around to help.